Humanity's induction into the Galactic Council was a momentous event marked by ceremonial grandeur and galaxy-wide broadcasts. The diverse peoples of Earth reveled in the promise of a united interstellar future. The Council, a centuries-old coalition of advanced civilizations, had recognized humanity for its rapid ascent in the cosmos and its undying spirit of exploration and innovation. As Earth's delegates walked the Council's revered halls, they were greeted with enthusiasm by many, all eager to integrate humanity's potential into the fabric of galactic society. Trade agreements blossomed, setting forth a new era of economic prosperity. Science and technology flourished as human ingenuity merged with alien advancements, unleashing a wave of progress and optimism. Yet beneath this veneer of cordiality and cooperation, there brewed a silent storm of resentment and fear. Several elder races of the Council, who had watched the rise of humans with wary eyes, now saw them as upstarts disrupting a delicate cosmic balance. Jealous of humanity's growing influence, these factions quietly sought to maintain their historical dominance. Strategically, they began sowing seeds of division, manipulating events to cast doubt on humanity's intentions. Incidents were staged, and blame was cast, all designed to tarnish the reputation of Earth's representatives. With every diplomatic incident, the threads of trust were pulled, gradually fraying the fabric of the alliance. While humans continued their outreach with characteristic hope and drive, the Council's shadowy corners whispered of Earth's undue ambition. Alliances within the Council that had stood unchallenged for ages now faced a challenge they were unprepared to meet with grace. In the gathering dark, murmurs of a conspiracy against Earth began to spread, marking the start of a saga that would test the resilience of humanity's place among the stars. With Earth officially a member of the Galactic Council, human envoys found themselves entangled in the complex web of interstellar politics. Their fresh outlook and rapid response to galactic issues made them popular among the newer members of the Council, who had long sought reform within the stagnant political structure. Yet this popularity only deepened the rifts within the Council. The ancient civilizations that made up its core saw humanity's ascendancy as a threat to the old ways. Behind closed doors, a faction led by the enigmatic Tholrenes began to conspire against Earth, planting the seeds of humanity's downfall. This cabal orchestrated a series of accidents and incidents across human space, framing them as negligence on the part of Earth's governance. Secret pacts were made, and agreements were struck in the dark, all aiming to undermine humanity's standing within the Council. As Earth's envoys worked to navigate through these troubles, their every move was watched and often obstructed by bureaucratic maneuvering. The Tholrenes, skilled in the art of subterfuge, leaked false communications and reports, painting the humans as aggressors and violators of Council law. The humans, for their part, responded to each accusation with evidence and reason, but the court of public opinion was beginning to turn against them. The orchestrated events took their toll, straining the relationships that Earth had worked so hard to build. The climax of the Tholrene scheme came when a human diplomatic vessel was implicated in the destruction of a sacred site revered by several Council species. Despite the humans' pleas of innocence and their own logs suggesting sabotage, the Council's verdict was swift and without appeal. Humankind's representatives were cast out from the inner circles of power, their voices silenced, and their presence in the Council chambers reduced to mere observance. With a single, well-orchestrated lie, Earth's allies within the Council dwindled, leaving the humans isolated in a sea of stars they had only just begun to navigate. The indictment was unexpected and severe. Earth, whose endeavors had been driven by a thirst for knowledge and unity, now stood accused of the gravest crime in the Council's statutes, initiating aggression against a member species. Evidence, falsified yet convincing, was presented before the Council, implicating Earth in an unprovoked attack on a Tholrene outpost. Humanity's delegates, staunch in their defense, were met with cold indifference. The trial was a spectacle, a performance orchestrated by their accusers. Each piece of proof the humans offered was dismissed, the Council's once receptive members turned a deaf ear, swayed by the deceitful narrative woven by their conspirators. The swift judgment that followed branded Earth as a rogue civilization. Sanctions were imposed, curtailing human exploration and trade. Diplomatic relations soured, and former allies withdrew their embassies, fearing repercussions from association with the newly pariah Earth. Amidst the turmoil, Earth's ambassadors issued a final statement, their voices resonant with a mixture of indignation and warning. "We are not the aggressors you have been led to believe," they declared, "but make no mistake, we will defend ourselves. To those who stand against us, run while you still can." This message rippled through the Council space, a stark departure from humanity's usual diplomatic stance. It spoke not of submission, but of a quiet, simmering strength waiting to be unleashed. Back on Earth, news of the betrayal ignited a firestorm. Unity, not seen since the early days of space exploration, rekindled among the nations of the world. The prospect of standing alone against a galaxy of enemies bound humanity closer than ever. Earth's governments, military, and citizens readied themselves for the repercussions of the Council's decision. The sentiment was not fear, but a resolute determination to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Galactic Council's ruling rippled through the cosmos, leaving Earth's interstellar aspirations in tatters. As trade embargoes took effect, vital resources from across the stars dwindled. Human outposts on distant moons and planets found themselves cut off from support, left to fend for themselves against a galaxy that had suddenly turned hostile. Earth's once bustling spaceports quieted, the flow of alien visitors and traders reduced to a trickle of smugglers and those few who dared to defy the Council's edicts. The flourishing exchange of culture and technology that had marked humanity's entry into the Council was replaced by a stifling blockade. In the face of this backlash, Earth's leaders refused to bow to despair. They extended a call to action, rallying the collective spirit and ingenuity of the planet. Factories that had once built modules for peaceful space stations now turned their efforts to constructing defense satellites and warships. Scientists and engineers, previously engaged in civilian pursuits, now devoted their expertise to advancing Earth's military capabilities. The response from a human military was equally swift and decisive. Fleets were mobilized, defensive perimeters around Earth and the Moon were reinforced, and every possible scenario was war-gamed by the brightest strategic minds humanity had to offer. As Earth fortified its defenses, the Council watched with wary eyes. Their aim had been to constrain humanity, to pull the reins on a species advancing too quickly for their comfort. Instead, they had forced Earth's hand, compelling humans to demonstrate their capacity for war as much as they had for peace. The human diplomats, once emissaries of exploration and friendship, were now messengers of a grimmer reality. They traversed the space lanes, warning those who had supported the sanctions to reconsider. "Run," they said, "for Earth will not yield its sovereignty nor its right to the stars. We will stand strong, against you and with you, but we will stand." This call to arms resonated with Earth's populace and its defenders in the sky above. If the galaxy would not accept them as partners, then humanity would face it as adversaries. But even in the shadow of war, Earth's message remained clear. It was not too late for peace, if only the Council would listen. Earth stood isolated but undeterred, a solitary world bracing against a galactic tide. The sanctions had brought hardship, but they had also ignited a defiant determination to survive and thrive despite the Council's condemnation. Across the planet, a collective effort emerged as the populace rallied to support their world. Former competitors in the global arena set aside their differences, uniting under the cause of planetary defense. Industries pivoted with remarkable speed, repurposing commercial technology for military might. Mining operations on Earth and the asteroid belt intensified, extracting the necessary materials to fuel the war effort. In hidden silos and shipyards, a formidable fleet was being assembled. The design of these vessels was unlike anything the galaxy had seen, a hybrid of human innovation and the best of alien technology they had managed to acquire before the embargo. The people of Earth, from engineers to soldiers, worked with a shared purpose. Training regimes for the military were overhauled, incorporating combat techniques that combined human tactics with the alien strategies they had learned during their brief stint in the Council. The EDF, Earth Defense Force, was established, an organization that drew its ranks from every corner of the planet, representing the best and bravest Earth had to offer. Their mandate was clear: to protect their home from any extraterrestrial threat and to secure humanity's place among the stars. The government's message to its people was unequivocal. The galaxy may have turned its back on us, but we will show them the strength of our resolve. We will not be intimidated. We will not be subjugated. We are Earthlings, and we will endure. The military posturing and fervent activity on Earth did not go unnoticed by the Council. As reports of humanity's preparations filtered back to the Council's chambers, those who had once dismissed humans as a minor threat began to second-guess their stance. The Council had intended to rein in a potential rival. Instead, they had incited the rapid militarization of an innovative and resourceful species. Meanwhile, Earth's moon, now a fortress bristling with weaponry, served as a testament to humanity's determination. The blue marble of Earth, viewed from its lunar companion, no longer seemed like a victim of cosmic circumstance, but a bastion of unwavering willpower and unyielding spirit. The unveiling of Earth's hidden armada marked a pivotal moment in the conflict. A fleet of ships, the likes of which the galaxy had not anticipated from a supposedly isolated planet, emerged from the dark side of the moon. Each vessel bore the insignia of the Earth Defense Force, a symbol that had quickly become a banner of human resilience and defiance. Across the galaxy, news feeds and communication channels lit up with images of the fleet. Humanity's message was clear: Earth would not cower, it would stand its ground. This display of military might caught the Galactic Council and its members off guard. The sanctions designed to curb Earth's advancement and isolate it had instead galvanized a response that now threatened to shift the balance of power. On Earth, broadcasts of the fleet's deployment were met with a mix of pride and somber realization. The world had united, not just in defense of its home, but in a declaration of its right to exist as an equal among the stars. Families gathered around screens, watching as the ships maneuvered with precision, a ballet of metal and might against the backdrop of space. The EDF strategy was multifaceted. While showcasing their newfound strength, they also launched a series of probes and unmanned vessels equipped with advanced stealth technology into key strategic locations across Council space. These probes served dual purposes: gathering intelligence and serving as a silent reminder of Earth's reach and capabilities. Within the Galactic Council, the reaction was mixed. Some members, particularly those who had pushed for the sanctions, called for immediate military action against Earth, fearing that allowing humanity to grow stronger would only invite future conflict. Others, recognizing the strategic and technological prowess Earth had demonstrated, suggested opening channels for negotiation, wary of escalating a conflict with a species that had proven both resourceful and unpredictable. The Tholreans, architects of the conspiracy against Earth, found themselves in a precarious position. Their efforts to undermine humanity had backfired, propelling Earth to a status they had sought to prevent. Now they faced not just a military challenge, but a political one, as their influence over the Council waned. As Earth's fleet patrolled the edges of human space, a series of clandestine meetings took place among the galaxy's powers. The prospect of open war with humanity, with its unforeseen consequences, weighed heavily on the minds of all. Earth's demonstration of might had shifted the narrative from one of victimhood to one of deterrence, changing the course of the conflict in ways that none could have predicted. While Earth's military preparations and display of might captivated the galaxy's attention, a different kind of warfare was unfolding in the shadows. Human intelligence agencies, leveraging the networks they had quietly built even before the Galactic Council's betrayal, began a campaign of espionage and information warfare. Teams of hackers and spies infiltrated key data nodes and communication hubs within Council territories. Their mission was twofold: to expose the corruption and manipulation that had led to Earth's unjust expulsion and to sow dissent among the Council's ranks. One of their first major successes was the leak of a cache of communications between high-ranking Thulrene officials and their operatives in the Council. The documents revealed the depth of the conspiracy against Earth, including fabricated evidence and bribery of key witnesses. As these revelations spread across the galaxy, the credibility of the Thulrenes and their allies began to crumble. Simultaneously, Earth's agents worked to bolster the voices of those within the Council who had remained sympathetic to humanity or who had grown disillusioned with the Council's direction. Secret meetings were arranged, and plans were laid for a coordinated effort to challenge the ruling factions from within. The Galactic Council found itself in a state of turmoil. Protests erupted on multiple member worlds, calling for transparency, reform, and the reinstatement of Earth. The leaked documents had ignited long-simmering grievances among various species who felt marginalized or manipulated by the dominant powers within the Thulrene Empire. The exposure of their leaders' machinations led to internal strife. Factions within their own society, previously unaware of or opposed to the aggressive stance against humanity, began to question their leadership's decisions, fearing the repercussions of a war with Earth. Earth's strategy of subterfuge extended beyond political disruption. They also targeted the Council's military assets, feeding false intelligence that led to misallocated resources and weakened defenses. These actions didn't just aim to undermine the Council's ability to retaliate against Earth, but also to demonstrate humanity's capabilities in asymmetric warfare. As the Galactic Council grappled with these internal crises, Earth continued to strengthen its position. The message was clear: humanity was not a passive victim in a galactic arena, but a formidable power capable of defending its interests through both overt and covert means. The campaign of subterfuge, while risky, had managed to achieve what direct military confrontation could not. It fractured the unity of Earth's adversaries, giving humanity the upper hand in the struggle to reclaim its place in the galaxy. The campaign of subterfuge had profound effects across the galaxy, loosening the once-iron grip of the Galactic Council's ruling factions. As revelations of corruption and manipulation came to light, the Council found itself embroiled in scandal and infighting, undermining its authority and effectiveness. Amidst this chaos, Earth seized the moment to initiate diplomatic overtures to those civilizations within the Council that had become disillusioned with the status quo. Utilizing back channels and leveraging the goodwill earned through their intelligence revelations, Earth's diplomats worked tirelessly to forge new alliances and rehabilitate humanity's image across the stars. Simultaneously, Earth's newfound allies, both from within and outside the Council, began to openly challenge the sanctions imposed on humanity. They called for immediate talks to address the grievances and rectify the injustices that had been perpetrated against Earth. As these voices grew louder and more numerous, the Council was forced to convene an emergency session to address the crisis. The session was tense, with the assembly divided between those seeking to maintain their dominion over the galaxy and those advocating for reform and reconciliation with Earth. The human delegation, invited to speak, presented a compelling case, not only defending their actions, but also outlining a vision for a more inclusive and cooperative council that could truly represent the diverse interests of the galaxy. The turning point came when several key members of the council, swayed by Earth's arguments and the mounting pressure from their constituencies, broke ranks with the traditionalist factions. They publicly acknowledged the injustices against Earth and called for the lifting of sanctions and the restoration of Earth's full membership in the Council. As the Council voted to implement these changes, the news was greeted with jubilation on Earth and among its supporters across the galaxy. The tide had turned, not through force of arms, but through diplomacy, intelligence, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. However, the victory was not without its challenges. The Council, though reformed, remained a complex web of interests and agendas. Earth's place within it was more secure, but the path forward required careful navigation to prevent old rivalries from flaring up anew. The aftermath of the conflict saw the Galactic Council undergoing significant reforms aimed at preventing the kind of manipulation and betrayal that had sparked the crisis. Earth, with its diverse cultures and innovative spirit, became a key player in shaping the future direction of the galaxy, advocating for unity, exploration, and shared prosperity. As the dust settled, humanity looked to the stars with renewed purpose. The ordeal had taught them the importance of vigilance and the value of alliances, both old and new. Earth had not only defended its right to stand among the stars, but also emerged as a beacon of hope for a more collaborative and peaceful galaxy. With Earth's reinstatement into the Galactic Council and the dawn of a reformed assembly, the tensions that had simmered beneath the surface evolved into open conflict among the stars. Not all were pleased with humanity's ascension and the shift in power dynamics. A coalition of dissenting species, led by the remnants of the Thulrine Empire and their staunchest allies, refused to acknowledge the Council's decision, sparking a series of skirmishes along the border systems. These battles were not just about territory. They were a test of the new Galactic Council's resolve and Earth's place within the interstellar community. The Earth Defense Force, now battle-hardened and bolstered by alliances with other species, stood at the forefront of these conflicts, defending the principles of sovereignty and mutual respect that had become their rallying cry. The humans brought not only their military capabilities into these engagements, but also their knack for diplomacy and subterfuge. They worked to peel away the coalition's members, offering avenues for peace and cooperation even in the heat of battle. Earth's envoys, protected by ceasefires and truces, negotiated mid-conflict, meeting with their counterparts on neutral ground, seeking to sow the seeds of dissent and break the coalition from within. The most significant confrontation occurred near the Virian Nebula, a strategic location where the dissenting coalition had amassed a formidable fleet, threatening the stability of neighboring systems. The Galactic Council, under its new leadership and with Earth playing a pivotal role, mobilized a combined armada to counter this threat. The Battle of Vexia Nebula was a spectacle of cosmic proportions. Energy blasts illuminated the nebula's gases, creating a kaleidoscope of light and color amid the chaos of war. The EDF, alongside ships from their allies, executed maneuvers that displayed their tactical ingenuity, turning the nebula's volatile environment to their advantage. As the battle raged, a small team of human operatives embarked on a daring mission to infiltrate the enemy flagship, aiming to capture its leaders and force an end to the hostilities. The mission, fraught with peril, highlighted the bravery and determination of those who volunteered, knowing the odds of their return were slim. The operation was a success. The flagship was captured, and with it, the leaders of the dissenting coalition. The victory at the Vexia Nebula marked a turning point in the conflict, demonstrating the effectiveness of the new Galactic Council's approach to peacekeeping and conflict resolution. In the aftermath, the leaders of the dissenting species were brought before the Galactic Council, not for retribution, but for dialogue. Earth's representatives advocated for leniency and understanding, arguing that true unity could only be achieved through forgiveness and the opportunity for redemption. The resolution of the Battle for Honor, as it came to be known, solidified Earth's reputation as a champion of justice and an advocate for a galaxy where disputes were settled not by might alone, but by the strength of one's convictions. The Galactic Council, now truly representative of its diverse members, embarked on a mission to heal the wounds of the conflict and build a future based on the principles that had triumphed at the Vexian Nebula. In the aftermath of the Battle for Honor, the galaxy found itself at a crossroads. The conflict had exposed deep-seated divisions, but had also paved the way for unprecedented opportunities for reconciliation and unity. The Galactic Council, reinvigorated by Earth's leadership and the valor demonstrated by its allies, embarked on a mission to redefine what it meant to be a member of the interstellar community. Earth, once ostracized and betrayed, now stood at the heart of this new vision. Humanity's journey, marked by trials and tribulations, had culminated in a position of respect and influence. The planet that had warned its adversaries to run now extended a hand of friendship and cooperation, embodying the principles of diplomacy and mutual respect it had always championed. The reforms initiated by the Council focused on transparency, equity, and collective security. Mechanisms were put in place to ensure that no member could wield undue influence or subvert the Council's mandate for personal gain. The Galactic Assembly was established, a body where every civilization, regardless of its power or prestige, had a voice. Humanity's role in these changes was pivotal. The Earth Defense Force became a model for the Council's peacekeeping operations, combining military prowess with a commitment to protecting the vulnerable and maintaining peace. Earth's diplomats, scientists, and cultural ambassadors became fixtures in Council initiatives, spreading the ideals of cooperation and shared prosperity. The scars of the past, however, were not easily forgotten. The galaxy was still healing, with some worlds struggling to overcome the damage wrought by conflict and betrayal. Earth led by example, offering aid and expertise to those in need, fostering a sense of galactic solidarity that transcended species and borders. As the first anniversary of the Battle for Honor approached, the Galactic Council declared a day of remembrance and celebration, a moment to honor those who had fallen and to celebrate the enduring spirit of cooperation that had emerged from the ashes of conflict. Across the galaxy, beings of all species observed the occasion, a testament to the unity that was now within reach. On Earth,